Damian, is this a game where you would be more disappointed in the loss or more encouraged by the fact that you guys played a much better game this time against them, and you know that Nurk and CJ are coming back soon, and when you're at full strength, you think you can handle these guys?
I mean, we can handle them. I think we more than capable of beating them. The first game, we just played a terrible game. We played on their home floor. They had a pretty decent crowd, so it was more energy in their favor, I guess, in that game. You could feel it, like a typical NBA game before the pandemic. But tonight I thought, we played a solid game. We just, in stretches, we allowed them to take over the game. I know in the second quarter we had a nice run, and then to finish the second quarter, they went on a run. And, we went into the half, kind of not on the top side. They had momentum going into the half, and then we had another good third quarter, and then we didn't finish that quarter. So they kind of carried that momentum into the fourth and was able to have a really good fourth quarter. But anytime you let a game slip away when you play well enough to win it, for the most part, is disappointing. So we're not looking at it like, oh, we're gonna have CJ and Nurk back, or it's not as disappointing. You wanna win every game, and especially a game against a good team that you were in position to win, and we didn't. So it's disappointing, but we can't rest in it. We got to move on to the next one.
Thanks.
Jamie Hudson, NBC Sports Northwest.
Damian, they're obviously a really good offensive team, but what are the challenges in defending a team like the Suns, especially in transition?
They got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of guys that are capable. And, you look around, you got CP out there who's running the show. He's just constantly trying to manipulate and pick and find a way to take advantage of the opposing team. And I think he's the brains behind the operation. And then you got a major talent like Devon Booker, and then Mikal Bridges, and then, DeAndre Ayton, and then you got Sarge and Jay Crowder. They just got so many guys that they roll out there that execute, what their job is really well. The shooters shoot, the rebounders rebound, the hustle guys hustle. Everybody comes out and, they're a threat. And the way that they play is, you got to be on your toes. They got guys slashing and cutting and running the court. And when the ball starts moving, and, every guy out there can make an open shot. And, when they started to get on that run, they just was making shots. And, I think if we didn't allow that momentum to come to life, we didn't give them life with our turnovers and our miscommunications, and I don't think we would have had as much of an issue with that. But the turnovers and us not rebounding the ball in certain spots allowed them to start feeling themselves, and they started talking more, and they just picked it up, and we wasn't able to overcome that.
Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Hey, Dame, can you describe what your guys' film sessions are like?
Our film sessions?
Yeah. What are they,
What?
Is there a lot of dialogue back and forth, or is it mainly just coaches pointing out missteps or good things? Or I'm just wondering what the nature of your guys' film sessions are like.
It's never the same. Sometimes it's more dialogue where we'll be going over things that we need to improve. Well, we always, even if we win or lose a game, we always, show the things that we did well, and we also show what we didn't do well. And sometimes it's dialogue, and other times, the coaches might be a little more frustrated, and they might be getting on us and pointing out more of our mistakes. But typically it's like, what we did well offensively, what we need to improve offensively, what we did well defensively, what we need to improve on defensively, and how we ended up in those positions where we struggled defensively, and why things happened. And, we were forcing this guy left, and you let him get right. We were keeping the ball on the side, and you let it get middle. And when you did that, somebody had to help from the weak side. The big had to step up and help, and his man gets a rebound, and, the weak side didn't crack back or, come in and help when the big helped, So it's like that. We kind of address like what the root of our problems are in certain situations, and then we'll show we did do our jobs, what it looked like. And then usually at that part of the game, we'll say, when we did this, we were plus whatever, we did this for a longer period of time, then it would have been this many points per possession or whatever, we'll kind of discuss it that way. And sometimes, when we talk about those breakdowns, somebody, I might raise my hand and say, well, on this play, should we have blacked it or could we just switch this? And then somebody else will jump in and it's open discussion, but usually I would say more often than not, it's the coaches kind of just breaking down what their assessment of the game was and what they think we need to do more of that was positive and what we need to do less of that hurt us.
And do you feel like over your 9 years that those have remained pretty consistent as far as like the mood of it or the intensity of it, or have they picked up any recently?
I think it's been pretty consistent.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a high level of I don't like to use this word too much, but accountability. Like our coaches don't mind coming in and pointing out what the problem is. And whether that's me or CJ or Nurk or Melo, whoever it might be, I feel like they address things pretty straight up. I don't think it's any better route to go. I think our film sessions are pretty productive, and we usually take it from film, and when we get on the practice court, we kind of we drill those things, like being at the nail, if that's what we're talking about, or the MIG and safety, and where the help is coming from and where we double from, and then what the weak side is supposed to be doing. So we don't just talk about it and then they expect us to execute it. Our practice plan is usually based on that, so we can go out there and kind of tighten those things up or sharpen those things up.
Gotcha. All right, thanks, Dan. We'll go ahead and wrap it there.